This video will demonstrate the protocol for socket grafting with flap reflection and grafting with 3D bond. After extraction and socket debridement, a vertical incision is performed at a 45-degree angle that should not exceed by more than 3 mm past the mucogingival border. Elevate a full-thickness flap but do not exceed by more than 3 mm the reflection into the mobile mucosa. However, if there is a defect, then expose as much as needed in order to see the entire defect and then go back to 3 mm. Note here that the entire defect has to be visualized prior to augmenting. Once flap elevation is complete, grasp the mesial corner of the flap and stretch, then the middle part of the flap and stretch, followed by the distal part of the flap and stretch. Reflecting 3 mm into the mobile mucosa will enable the flap to be stretched at least 6 mm. Stretching of the flap is something that is not taught with traditional grafting techniques. However, with 3D bond, no periosteal releasing incisions are recommended. Instead, the flap covering the graft has to be under tension. After socket debridement, the 3D bond can be activated. This is the 3D bond syringe. It contains the syringe tube, shaft, driver head, small cap, and 2 indicative lines. With the application kit, 2 sterile syringes are included, as well as 2 sterile saline vials and needles. Secure the needle onto the syringe and draw up the saline to fill the syringe. Advance the shaft of the graft syringe until line number 1 is reached on the tube, as can be seen here. Remove the small cap and introduce the saline syringe needle almost all the way down into the powder. Start injecting the saline into the powder until a few drops of saline will spill out. Hold the syringe head, second large cap, and push the shaft forward through line 2, or until full resistance is encountered. This is done in order to expel excess liquid. Immediately, with a twisting and pulling motion, remove the cap, approach the site, and start ejecting the material into the site. As soon as the 3D bond cement is deposited onto the host site, a sterile unfolded dry gauze is placed over the cement and pressed firmly with the finger from the buccal and the crestal direction for about 3 seconds. It's extremely important that the 3D bond cement will be well compacted. Thus, after pressing with the finger, use the periosteal elevator in order to continue with the compaction of the graft for an additional few seconds, again, from the buccal and crestal direction. Once compaction of the graft is done, remove the gauze and proceed with soft tissue closure by stretching the mesial corner and securing it with a suture. Then the distal corner is secured, then the middle part, followed by additional sutures as needed, and finally, the vertical incision should be sutured.